welcome to The Flick. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm the only one wearing green.
I got green on my sock.
They kind of count. We show us your socks, please. There's a little bit of green on Ben's sock, and they count slightly.
It does, and it's also an accident, but nonetheless.
We'll take it. Later on, we'll all be doing Irish car bomb shots, but for now, we're sober and we're useful. We're going to talk about Knight of Cups, the latest from Terrence Malick. Darling, Tim Grierson, please tell us what it's about.
Yes, it's a new movie from Terrence Malick, and it stars Christian Bale as a Hollywood screenwriter who, in typical Terrence Malick fashion, is going through an existential crisis, both in his professional life and in his personal life, as he goes through a cycle of different beautiful women who love him, but he does not feel anything for them. Let's take a look.
I can't remember a man I wanted to be.
Just don't threaten me with leaving, okay? Just do what you want to do.
You don't want love. You want a love experience.
They are like flavors. Sometimes you want raspberry, then after a while you want some strawberry.
You have love in you. I know it.
Blind. Suppose it isn't there for me. I was afraid when I was young. Afraid of life. One pays for it. You gave me peace, joy, love. Find your way from darkness to light. Remember.
Yes, the central crisis here for Christian Bale. Which boutique hotel should I romp around in with scantily clad model / actress types who want to
I
fuck
didn't
me?
even
Yes.
know he was a writer.
Oh, he's on set talking about like plot points and stuff, is he not?
To be
don't
fair,
Did I-
it's in the press notes. But if you watch the movie, you would have a tough time
Yeah,
sussing
I didn't
that
look
out.
at. Yeah, I didn't know what he was.
Maybe a producer.
I thought. Yeah, I thought. I mean, I thought mostly he was just a wealthy Hollywoodian.
A dilettante.
Yeah. Is that how you pronounce Hollywood?
A ne'er-do-well dilettante.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, man, because, look, the problem with me and Terrence Malick, and I'm sure Terrence Malick considers it a problem too, is that his movies make me feel dumb. They make me feel inadequate. They make me feel like I'm not smart enough to understand it. And I get it. I'm not, there are a lot of people who are way smarter than I am, but I don't think I should be this baffled, feel this left out. Maybe I am.
He means to baffle you. I believe he means it for it to be like ethereal and
Okay, but I don't
meandering.
feel it. I feel anxiety by my bafflement.
Okay.
I feel like, oh, stop being me. I got it. Look, I get it. You are smarter than I am, and he is, and obviously more artistic. But I also, as you know from all the conversations we've had, no matter how beautiful your movie is, it's meaningless to me unless you say something interesting. 100% meaningless. I can't even bring myself to say, yeah, I guess it looked nice, because it doesn't even register. Like, and my wife can, and it's a shortcoming that I have no appreciation of fine art, and I have none.
Not true.
But a limited appreciation of traditional art that hangs, right? Art that hangs, art that is sculpted. So, when you come home in my home, and if she'll move stuff around, and I'll be like, hey, when did that go up there? And it'll be, February, and she'll say, June, like about 8 months ago. But here is me with a class of Harvard PhD art historians walking around the Louvre, listening to them talk, and essentially giggle at me. Like, you don't know what were you, foolish American. And I feel like I'm an idiot American. I felt that way during Tree of Life, and I felt that way here.
Well, I think the thing he's trying to say isn't all that terribly insightful, right? If I'm guessing what he's trying to say is that Hollywood is vapid and soul-sucking.
Right.
Beautiful, but it will ruin you, and you're never going to find happiness here, despite the outward trappings that would suggest that you should be happy. If that's what he's saying, that's not terribly novel. That's been said a million times, and he's just saying it in like a 2-hour, incredibly beautiful but incredibly boring way.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that it? Is that his point?
Well, it's funny to actually be the Terrence Malick defender. here.
Apologist.
Well, because I feel like since Tree of Life, which I think was one of his best films.
I love Tree of Life.
I feel like the worst thing that he has done is to make movies every couple years. Because I think that when he was only making movies like every 8 years, there was this kind of built-in gap between them that made each one feel like an event. And now that he makes one every 2 years or so, the pattern that he sort of started with Tree of Life is the one that he's kind of continuing into The Wanderer, and now in this new movie, Knight of Cups. I mean, I think there's a little more to it than how you're describing it, but the truth is there isn't a lot more to it. I think that he is still as he did in Tree of Life, he's kind of talking about this idea of people who are emotionally and sort of spiritually bereft and have no place to kind of go in the modern world. And I think what's interesting about Tree of Life and since then is he started making movies set in the present day. Because he used to do them, like the 1920s or essentially like the discovery of the New World.
But Badlands, the 50s?
Badlands was in the 50s.
Yeah.
They were always set in the past. And I think that what's been interesting about his movies that he's made recently, that the present day films have this sense of not being very present. That there's something about like the modern world I think that really makes Malick feel ill at ease.
And he keeps working through that by making the same movie over and over again?
And I think that in a lot of ways that is kind of the take it or leave it with Malick now. That he is, from Tree of Life on, he's kind of doing the same thing over and over again. That there is a certain kind of obsessive quality that he has, not just with the modern world, but with families that can't connect. Because once again, you have a father who's very distant, played by Brian Dennehy, not unlike the Brad Pitt character in Tree of Life. There are these themes that he's going to again and again. But I think that to Ben's point, I never feel like his movies are too smart for me. I don't consider myself any type of brainiac at all. To me, I actually find them very emotional, which I think I can understand would be the breaking point. If either you feel that, you either feel that or you don't.
Are there moves you're attached?
Yeah, I think for me, I do find them, though I think this is one of his weaker films overall, I do find it to be pretty kind of captivating in terms of the swirl of images and sounds. And also, I just say one last thing. I think that the parade of women that we sort of talked about.
That was my favorite part.
If it was just a parade of women and not like walking on the beach, but in between, that'd be okay.
I think what I think ultimately works enough in that to make it kind of okay for me is I think that each of those women is supposed to be in some ways a different type of thing in Christian Bale's life that he's trying to find. That rather than being able to kind of find any sort of sense of satisfaction or contentment in his own world, he's looking at different love interests as, okay, you fill this in for me.
I know, but they don't. We didn't know anything about them, like except maybe
the Cate Blanchett one.
Well, I was going to say, and Natalie Portman has a little thing, but it's really just an event that she has rather than anything we really know about her or what she means. I mean, how was Natalie Portman substantively different than Cate Blanchett? Cate Blanchett, by the nature of the fact that she's not running around in nothing but boy shorts in a hotel, is more substantive. Clearly, she's a doctor. She's a grown-up person. She's a doctor, a doctor with a killer bedside manner, like a really good person. The world is better because that Cate Blanchett character is in it. But what is different? What was Natalie Portman filling that Cate Blanchett wasn't? Or are they all filling the same thing? And Freida Pinto too, and then the two bimbos. I say that respectfully, in the hotel.
It just can't be filled. The thing can't be filled. He goes through the same motion. He does the same thing with all of them, whether it's the romping in the hotel or walking on the beach or whatever it is. He has the same thing, but none of them fulfill
I guess,
him, right? It's repetitive.
And I suppose that it might have landed. It might have been more emotive for me, if like the way all those places looked, there was a sterile sameness to it, which was clearly intentional. But it makes me it removes me from any sense that humans have here. Like I don't think there was a rug or a carpet in the movie. So all these settings, all these, it's this incredibly wealthy, it's this man of great privilege, whatever he was, right? I mean, all it is, all of us would kill to hang out at the place, whether it's the boutique hotel or one great deck overlooking the Pacific after another, right? And then you go into those places and they all look like they just came on the market. And Molly Maids had just been there. I mean, the floors,
they're staged.
Everything is shiny. It doesn't look like a child has ever spilled anything there, or a dog ever scratched the floor, or licked the floor, or anything has happened there. Any life is lived in any of these places. The beds look like the beds of, again, you're back to your hotel room, but even when it wasn't a hotel room, that they're perfectly made for you. The pillows, everything's in the right order. I didn't feel like any of these people could possibly have existed or had a life that was interesting. So maybe something interesting did happen to Natalie Portman. Her character is married when she's with Christian Bale. But like, there's nothing human about them. They're all felt like they're staged in these scenes, and that was incredibly, I found that uninteresting.
I feel like that's, I mean, I hear that, but I feel like it is sort of the point of a lot of the, like the LA stuff is supposed to be, it is supposed to be antiseptic, and it's supposed to be this idea that Christian Bale works in this world, but it's a world he doesn't feel, I think you're supposed to feel alienated from that world. And it might be repetitive. I think that is a fair argument. But I think that the idea is that it's so clean and sterile and kind of perfect is what's so creepy.
Well, then you got to do that subtly. Then, I mean, you don't. First of all, you don't have to do anything. I didn't want. I was like determined not to get into the moment where I tell Terrence Malick what to do.
Or Emmanuel Lubezki.
Who
shot it.
No,
so it's
and
gorgeous,
I get it. It's
course,
beautiful,
yeah.
but that does not resonate with me. And that's where I started with that I'm going to get like, that's my weakness. I get it. It was like I'd watch it. I'd be like, whoever I do this review with, they're going to tell me how beautiful it is, and they're going to be right, and I'm not going to feel it, but they're going to be right, right.
No, I get
But
it.
I mean, only what? How many? 3, right?
3 in a row.
3 in a row. So.
No big deal.
When you win 5 in a row, then
And
maybe
come
I'll
talk to
develop
me,
some
right?
respect.
It's a pretty good LA movie though, and
Yeah, I agree,
being from
yeah.
LA and lived here for a long, long time, I enjoyed like, oh, he's hopscotching around. Now he's in Marina Del Rey. Now he's in Santa Monica.
lot of
Now
Santa
he's at
Monica.
Standard.
A lot of Santa Monica,
A lot of
yeah.
Standard in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Even Skid Row looks beautiful through Lubezki's lens. But I was also distracted thinking, okay, he's at Skid Row. Now he's in Venice. Did he get in the 10 and go all the way west on the 10? Did he cut down to the 90 to Marina Del Rey? I mean, so
Those are part of the mysteries of the movie, Christy, right there.
Right.
All the
These
levels
ways.
and dimensions. No, I say that as someone who's lived in LA a long time too, I actually thought they shot LA in a way that I feel like I haven't seen before.
different locations.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, Ben, about it's almost too beautiful in certain ways. I do think that the movie is more than just pretty pictures. I do think there's a certain kind of, I mean, because Malick and Lubezki have worked together quite a while now, that the movie does have a sense of making you feel like LA is sort of beautiful and amazing and gorgeous, but also really kind of chilly and unwelcoming. And I think that it does extend beyond being just pretty pictures. That I think there is a design in place beyond just let's make everything look gorgeous.
It just felt like a design. That's what it felt like. Look at my design, and I guess I got a story here. But I mean, nobody says anything. There's no real conversations. We literally see the conversations with voiceover narration while they're mouthing their words, and we get like, oh, that's a family fight. You know, there's tension. Wes Bentley is Bale's brother, and their relationship with his relationship with the father is at least more real, even though it's much more combative.
But those made me laugh though. Like, I'm sorry, like the chair throwing fight. I think were meant to be serious moments of tension, and I kind of laughed at how silly and over the top they were.
It just didn't resonate with me. It just didn't. I got what was happening, and then there's also there's an identification part because of I'm supposed to feel some sympathy because he can't connect this guy of incredible wealth and affluence, and he gets everything in the world. I'm so sorry you have to sleep with all these gorgeous women. I get it. Like ultimately,
he's cold inside.
No, but I mean,
empty.
I'm an age now where I know that is empty, right? I mean, I definitely would want something more too, but it is hard when you're like, oh well, look, until you find it, make the best of it, friend. And he's constantly, I don't know, what do you think? 7 shots where he's on a deck or somewhere elevated, looking down on people who are living. Right. And those people are living. And so I was like, okay, that's interesting. I got it. Yeah. I got it. Oh, look at him. He's on a deck again, looking down on people. But by then he'd already lost me. So then I was, things that might have been beautiful or meaningful, I was already irritated at and checking my watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a newsflash that Malick is not a plot first person. And I mean, and then again, I think it's becoming more and more so as he goes along. I mean, his movies are becoming more and more sort of, I don't know, symphonic or operatic. I mean, they're very much. I mean, even the fact that when the voiceover, which has always been very prominent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually explaining things that aren't actually what you're watching.
That's right.
And that's happening more and more in his movies. It's almost like in some ways he's walking away from any idea.
I wanted it to stop. I didn't. But this kind of Badlands is for me. But
there's a plot in Badlands.
Right, there's a story in Badlands. Look, I'm simple and I'm dumb, and I'm not just saying that but I do like. I mean, I love movies because I like that narrative flow, and when it's not there, I'm I lose interest, and so
What's your number then?
And that's what happened. I mean, it's almost meaningless. I mean, I could have given it an 8. It doesn't, but I gave it a 3.3.
Okay,
which is I think closer to where you thought.
I'm saying 4. It's beautiful but repetitive and numbing, and it left me cold. Maybe that's the intention, is to leave you cold, but that did not work for me. So I'm saying 4.
I will stand out on that limb and give it a 7.5. I mean, it's
Look out over us on your limb.
That's right. As I'm pondering, hell knows what, but yes,
7.5.
7.5 for me.
Also, just very quickly, in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, this is a real city filled with real people, with real jobs and real families, and the entertainment industry is here and dominates it. I got it. And we're peripherally connected to that industry. We're not, and none of us are deep inside of it. But, like, I love it here. I think it's a great place, and it's misunderstood. And so when a movie sort of simplifies it, like, it's an interesting, there are problems with it. It's impossible for you to come to me, somebody who I've known for, 10 years now, or 8 years,
long time.
and come to me and give yourself great news, and I will want to go, oh my God, that's great. And if it's like a job and on TV, and part of me will go, fuck, I gotta call my agent. How did Christy get that fucking job? Right? And that is an insidious, terrible thing about Los Angeles, right? That is not something to be happy about, that you can't enjoy your friend's success. But that said, this just felt like, as you said in the beginning, like, we've seen this. It was an easy way to cheapen, a beautiful but easy way to sort of cheapen and point the finger at some of what's wrong with the city.
It's a cliche. It's almost like a Malick parody at times. And I will say really fast, a very, very prominent film critic friend of ours walked out halfulay through.
Oh, is that right?
My screening. I will not name this person.
Wow. All right.
I can't wait to find out
I
off
know.
camera who it is.
I won't say. I won't sell this person out, but this is somebody we all really, really respect. Okay, so our average is, what is it? I said 4.
It's like a 5.
What's 14.8 divided by 3?
4.9.
Okay, whatever it is. Someone will do the math for me. And
I
it's
just did the math for you.
And you said you weren't smart. Look what you just did right there. That was very impressive.
43% on the tomato meter. I think if you love Malick, if you're like a Malick completist and you love him, you got to see it. So, all right, bye.